If you're serving on church safety this weekend and you think that this is the answer to protecting your congregation, let's have a talk. So when the topic of church safety comes up and it moves to firearms, the question of what should I carry is often what we end up discussing. Now, there are two things to really take into consideration here. One is concealability, and as far as this goes, it's very concealable. It's very small. It's super easy to conceal, barely an inconvenience. Problem is, it has a lot of limitations. It's got a low magazine capacity. It has a very long trigger with a long reset, and the sights on this are minimal. They're barely there. So it's possible to shoot this gun accurately, but it takes intentionality. What we need to do is find a balance between concealability and capability. And so today I want to talk about 4 subcompacts that strike a good balance in there between concealability and capability. So the first one we're going to talk about is this. This is the Springfield Armory Hellcat. The Hellcat isn't a new gun. It's been on the market for several years. It's a polymer frame, striker fired 9mm, just like everything else that we're going to talk about in the rest of this video. So it's been around for a while. It comes with an 11-round flush fit magazine. Also comes with a 13-round that adds just a little bit of length to it. And that allows you to get a really good grip on it and gives you a couple extra rounds to boot. So the gun has a lot to like. It has usable serrations front and back. It has good sights on it. Now Springfield is a little different. They use these are a U-notch rear sight, and then they have a tritium front sight. This one is yellow. So the yellow really picks up, the eye picks it up really well, and the U-notch is easy to see. Now some people really like the U-notch. It's not my favorite. I'm more of a 3-dot guy, but if this is how you roll, that's cool. If you can shoot it fast and accurate, more power to you. So the gun itself, the trigger on it is nice. It's about a 6.5 pound. Good reset, audible, tactile. The trigger's pretty smooth. There's really nothing to not like about this gun. It's got pretty good grip texturing on the sides, the back, on the front strap. It's even got a couple of little index points up here, which I really enjoy. When you take your finger up off of the trigger, put it up here on the frame like we teach, you've got that little reminder that, hey, I'm in the right spot. So, you know, this is a little bit of all right. I definitely like this gun. Now, this particular gun happens to be my daughter's EDC. So take note, don't mess with my daughter. But she carries the 13-round magazines in it, and the gun has been really reliable. We haven't had any malfunctions with it. I've shot it. It shoots accurately. It shoots quickly. It doesn't fit my hand as well as I like, but it fits her hand great. So, you know, again, I'm a sample size of 1. What works for me may not work for you and vice versa. So give it a try. Going on from that, let's talk about the Glock 43X. Now the 43X was a step up from the Glock 43. So the Glock 43 was the slimline, single stack, very compact 9mm. And it became extremely popular, but people wanted a little bit more capacity. The 43 has a 6-round magazine, and the 43X added a little bit of length here, and then they took the magazine and did sort of a stack and a half on it, and they were able to get a 10-round flush fit for it. So this gun started to become very, very popular. It's a very thin gun. It's easy to conceal. Good serrations on the front and back on it. Now, this is the original slide that came on it. And you'll see there's the serrations. It has the standard Glock dot in a basket sights on it. I replaced that with this slide from Palmetto State Armory. Now, the reason I did that was twofold. One, I like the sights on this better. These are steel sights. They're 3-dot that you can see here. So like I mentioned before, I tend to prefer the 3-dot. Also, I was transitioning to red dots on my EDC guns as well. So when I originally bought the 43X, it was not MOS cut. So I got the new slide, got a Holosun 407K to put on it, and this became my EDC. So one thing for those of you that are left-handed, the magazine release on these is reversible, but you only have the slide release on one side of the gun. I mentioned earlier that it was a 10-round magazine. A company called Shield Arms came out with a 15-round flesh fit magazine. What they did is they took the standard Glock magazine, they took away all the polymer that was on it and made it just a metal magazine. So they kept the same dimensions, but they were able to get 5 more rounds in the gun. Well, that was great, except that those magazines, aside from being pretty expensive, were all metal, and the slide release in a Glock is polymer. So when you push that in and out, in and out, in and out, eventually it rubs the polymer down to where now your magazine can just fall free without pushing the button. So in order to alleviate that, you have to buy a magazine release that is metal so that your metal magazines won't destroy your magazine release. However, that means then that when you're on a range and you're using your OEM magazines, now your magazine release is rubbing off the polymer on your OEM magazines. Enter Palmetto State Armory. Palmetto State Armory said, metal, that's a good idea, but what they did then is put a piece of polymer on the front. So now you have polymer to polymer contact. You don't have to replace the magazine release, and what you end up getting then is 15 rounds flush fit in the gun. Now that's a lot of ammo for a gun this size. And this became my EDC for a while. The problem is, and why I switched from it, is this is just a little bit too long for me. So when I carry appendix, it was giving me about this much that was printing on my shirt, and I didn't really like it. So I made the switch. We'll talk about that in a second. The rest of it, it's standard Glock. This trigger, about 5.5 pounds. Same trigger that you feel on every other Glock. Same reset. If you've trained with a Glock, this gun will feel familiar to you as soon as you pick it up. Just a little bit thinner than the double stack guns. So anyway, solid gun, solid choice. Can't really say anything bad about it. It's just a standard Glock. So because I wanted to find something that was just a little bit shorter, I transitioned to the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. So the Shield Plus also comes with a 10-round flush fit magazine, and then I carry it with a 15-round extended magazine as my reload. There's also a 13-round magazine that comes with it in the box, as long as you live in one of the free states and not a place like California or Illinois or Massachusetts. So again, just like the other ones, polymer frame, striker fired 9mm. No real serrations up front, so if you're into that press check life, you'll have to do something different. Good serrations in the back though. Good iron sights that come with it. These are 3-dot night sights, green in the back, red up in the front that you may or may not be able to see here. And then I put the Romeo X red dot on it. Now the Romeo X has a very low deck height on it, so I didn't need any additional height on the sights or anything. I can still get a good lower third co-witness on it if that matters to you. So put this on it, carry it with the 10 round, and it fit just right. Now if you look, I said that I needed about this much difference, and if you look at the two, put them together, that's about what we get, about that much difference. And that's all it took. So this was my carry gun up until recently. So what did I do recently? I came back to the SIG P365. I say back to it because this was my EDC for a lot of years. When I started transitioning to the red dots, my original 365 was not optics cut. So I made the transition, went to the 43X and then to the Shield Plus. After a while though, I really just kind of missed my 365. So I got in touch with SIG, got a new slide that was already optics cut, put a Romeo X on it, and ta-da, back to carrying a 365. Now, the 365 is really what changed the game on the subcompacts. Up until then, the Glock 43X and its single stack 6-round capacity was the popular gun. But then the 365 came out and they put 10 rounds in a very small package. So even comparing it to the 43X, both of these, their standard capacity is 10 rounds. Much smaller gun. And in my opinion, the trigger on the SIG is much better. Now, before any of you go jump down into the comments and start telling me about the gun going off by itself, completely different gun than the 320s. So let's not have that conversation. X-ray sights on here. They are they're night sights. They're green. The eye really picks them up quite easily. The gun has a reversible magazine release, just like the other two. It does not have a slide release on this side for lefties, so fellow left-handers, you're back to slingshotting it. The trigger on this, really nice. It's got a nice short reset. Nice smooth break on it. I didn't really show that on the Shield Plus. So it also has a nice short trigger and a short tactile reset. So one of the things about the 365 is the removable fire control unit. You can take it out and put it into different grip frames, mix and match some of your slides and barrels. So there is a 365 for everybody, for every size and capacity variation that you want. So small, medium, and large on all the grip modules, depending on how big your hands are. You can get barrels of different lengths, grips of different lengths. So whether you want a 10-round flush fit, 15-round flush fit, there's 17 rounds in the 365 macros. You can do all of that with one fire control unit, which is the part that you do, is the actual firearm. That's the part you're filling out the 4473 on. These you can buy different colors, different grip sizes, all of that stuff for about 40 bucks a piece. So super easy to swap out and personalize. You've got good usable serrations in the front and back in here. And there is really nothing bad to say about this gun. I love this gun. I carry it with the 12-round magazine in it. So the 12-round not only gives me 2 rounds, it gives me a little bit more of a grip here, but it has a little swell back here. And when I'm on the gun, it fills that little space in my hand, and it makes the gun really comfortable to shoot, and it helps me to recover between shots really quickly. So this gun, super love it. So where does that leave us? So we've talked about 4 guns here, and the bottom line is every one of these guns that we talked about, the subcompacts, if you handed it to me this weekend and said this is what you have to carry to protect your church, I would not feel bad about carrying any one of them. Which one is the right one for you? You should go out and shoot these guns, find out what fits your hand, find out what trigger you like, find out what sights you like, which one you can shoot accurately and quickly, then train a lot and protect the people in your church. So, if you're doing church safety this weekend, every one of these guns on the table, all 4 of these would be good, suitable options for you. So if you have any questions, throw them in the comments down below. There will be links in the comment down below. We did a written comparison of these guns, gets into the text and the specs of all of them. It also included the Mechanic MC9, which is another gun that I love. I just didn't have it with me today, so it's not on the video. But it is one that I would also feel very comfortable with. So links are down there, where to get the guns, where to read the articles, and if you got any value out of this, like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and we'll see you on the next video.